Hi fellas, Nige back here again, and I've got another inbox review for you. So today we're going to be looking at rifle models T-55AMD. Okay, so this one's got the Drozd active protected system. What that is, I don't know. Okay, it's also got what looks like a resin cover just here with the for the barrel. Okay, on the mantlet and what have you, to replicate that actual fabric covered part. And if I turn it around, you can actually see some of the parts that it's telling you about. So the extra plating, they're not flare chargers, they look like the rocket chargers like that, because these ones here flare, one's just there. You've got your optics as well on here, and all the other bits and pieces on there. And also we've got some parts for the actual skirts and all that sort of stuff. So what I'll do, I'll put you on the hood and we'll get cracking. So here we are. Okay, so normal rifle models booklet. Okay, so just straight into it, because there's no blurb or anything, just a little bit safety notices. We've then got our sprue map with some cable. You have your track links down here and your pins, and then the bit to be able to help build the track kits. You've got your metal cable, then your 3D printed part. It's got some photo etch, some clear parts, and just some decals with 0 to 9 on. So straight into it, we start on the lower hull. Okay, so we've got some holes to drill, then we've got some plates going on, some mounting brackets, what look like on the front. We've got this bigger bit of armor, then it sits on the front of the plate, and parts for the wheels and where the shaft goes. We then move on to the side skirts. Okay, and again, drilling some more holes before we go on to the rear plate of the actual tank itself. And then we've got where the side walls of the lower hull join the bottom plate, and then we've got the parts for some of the rollers. We've then got what looks like the torsion bars that go through for the undercarriage for the wheels, so you can see just there as they slot in. We've then got the drive sprocket and the actual parts of the road wheels. Okay, we've then added some more parts in section 4 for the actual wheels to go into, before then we start looking at adding wheels to the actual vehicle itself. Okay, we've then got the top plate of the actual lower hull, and again drilling some holes in there. Looking like you might have to make a decision which ones you're going to be drilling, because you're going to have this compartment either open or closed. So you can see they've got the hatch, and that bit's it looks like it's a driver's hatch, and if he's going to be up or whether he's going to be totally locked down and protected. We then move on to building some the actual tracks themselves, and again you're going to have your separate pins for your actual tracks that go together, and then the tracks go on to the actual side. It says 91 pieces for each side, and we mount the top plate onto the main hull. We then start on the side skirts, so we've got two sky skirts, some photo etch on there, and we've got the front fender and the rear part of the fender, and again drilling some holes for these bits to get mounted to. Same on the other side, and then we mount them all to the tank itself. We then look at the light clusters and the cages that protect them, before then we go on to drilling some more parts for this front plate here that goes onto the front of the tank itself, and again some more cages and mounting parts all going on there. Before then we turn our attentions to the rear deck and putting the grills on for the engine. We have got a tubular type thing on the back. I don't know what that's for. I don't think it's the exhaust. It doesn't look very exhaust like unless they add some more. And then we move on to some of the spare tracks, some boxes, some fuel tanks that all then get mounted onto the actual tank itself, like so. We then got some more pipes that coming from these tanks and going into the main vehicle. And then we've got what looks like another plate. Okay, and then you can see this down here. You can see all these different pipes where these are going to, which is rather good. Then we've got some more boxes, crates going on and getting attaching, some storage bins all around it. And again, some more tanks, some more storage bins, all getting mounted onto the vehicle like so. Then we've got two massive fuel tanks that will go, I will assume, on the rear of the tank. Yep, there we are. Okay, so two fuel tanks going to rear, again with the louvers for over the top of the engine deck. We've got the tow rope that gets attached to the vehicle and the towing eye, and that's the actual, what looks like most of the lower hull all done, apart from these flaps just here, again, which I'm assuming is added protection. We then to move on to the turret. So we've got the turret, we've got some photo etch going on there. So you've got the two options, one with I'm assuming that's a machine gun sticking out of it, one where we've got the cover. We then move on to building the actual main gun. Okay, we've got the breech and we've got the bit that swings up and down. Before then we put on this 3D printed excuse me, mounted part and some hatch rings. Okay, so you can see we've got that version or that version, okay, where you're adding some extra bits to it. We then move on to what looks like it's putting some of the optics actually onto the vehicle. So I'm assuming that would be either the commander's or the gunner's hatch, so we can actually see outside for looking around for targets. And then again, we've got some more parts that we build separately down here, which then will get mounted onto, so these will be the rocket parts by the looks of it, which then get mounted onto the side of the vehicle. We then got the hatches getting added, grab handles added. We have another part here that looks like it's part of the, maybe the optic system. Okay, here we are, that goes on to the side of the vehicle. So that's what it would look like, and again it looks like it's got an exhaust to it, so I'm not quite sure what that will be. We've got another one which, yes, it goes on to the other side, which you can see down here. And in this section we're building one of the hatches, either the gunner's or the commander's hatch. We've then got some more boxes going on the side. Quite a big one this time, going on the side of the vehicle. Again with some more smaller boxes. With then, which actually they look like they are going to be ammo crates for this machine gun, this cannon that goes on the top. And then we've got some bracing parts made out of plastic. Lights going on there, looks like a searchlight. And then we have our main turret, so it's quite busy, that main turret. Got quite a lot going on it. All that gets mounted onto the actual vehicle. So we've got a couple of markings, okay, going through this three-tone, what looks like grey-green, then this three-tone black, green, black, brown and green, and that's it. That's the instructions. Then we're going to have a look at the plastic. So bag at a time, sprue at a time. There's actually quite a lot of plastic to get through. So start off with this small part, and we've got some of the hatches on there. Some are the mounting boxes, some of the lights that are on there, some of the rounds for one of the machine guns just there, and overall looks really nice. Some nice detail all over. How we've got the spring or the shock absorbers on these parts is really nice. We've then got a bag with 3 of the same sprues in. Okay, so we've got some of the road wheels here, all right, some of the fuel tanks and all the stuff like that. Okay, and then you can see the ribbon on there for the tread. Got some nice nut detail in those wheels, really nice and sharp detail all around. Some of these ammo crates just there, and some of the parts for the, I believe there are parts for the wheels. Okay, next through again we've got some more wheels and the fuel tanks in here. 2 sprues in this bag, so again we'll just take the one out to have a look at. Okay, we have some sprockets, some more road wheels, the fuel tanks, and again it's all nice and really nicely detailed bits of plastic. Okay, all the way around, some nice track detail, some nice nut detail all the way around. Okay, especially in those wheels there. I believe they're the return rollers. Next up we've got the side skirts. Okay, so we've got the side skirts here. Okay, nothing much on these because a lot of the bits and pieces, sorry, not the side skirts, these are the size of the tank, so you're not going to see a lot of this because the wheels are going to be covering up all this. So nice big plate there, and I figured out what these bits are. They are the torsion bars that go through the vehicle for the wheels, and then we've got some other parts for the actual undercarriage there. We'll leave them 2 minutes. That's just part of the actual tracks. So then we've got the lower hull with some detail inside for these hatches. So you can see the handles, some bits and pieces on the front. Some of this will get covered up by that big plate that goes on there, but again, really nice detail on here, saying this is going to be the bit that's actually sitting on the deck, so you're not really going to see too much of that. This one's got the top of the side skirts on, should I say. Okay, so again, front fenders and rear fenders just there. Some more rods and pipes, really fine pipes, really nice refined raised detail, okay, where it needs to be raised. These 2 parts here, obviously, like I said, the top of the side skirts, these are going to get covered up by a multitude of boxes and fuel tanks and piping and all that sort of stuff. So really nice. I particularly like this part here. I don't know what it's for, but you can see how it's all individually made out. So you've got the actual four or odd bits of bent metal just there. So yeah, really nice. So a bigger sprue now. So we have an upper part of the main hull. We've got the louvers for above the engine, the back plate. There we are. We've got, I thought it was, but we've got a log, okay, in the back. We've got some fuel tanks and all that sort of good stuff. Some louvers again for back here. And again, it's got some really nice detail. Obviously, all these are flat plates, so you're not going to have rivets, you're not going to have panel lines or anything like that. But where it's needed, okay, like on this entrenching tools, okay, you can see the spade and what looks like a spike, okay, for that spike could be helping to change the tracks. We've got some more tubing, piping there, okay. And yeah, so again, some nice detail. We've then got this next sprue, okay. We have a one-piece rifled barrel. Okay, so all you've got to get rid of is the C mark, okay, not C mark, where the mold mark, where the beam pressed together. We've then got our cast turret, which again, it's got some really nice detail, okay, all over it. We then move on to some of the hatches. Again, I've got the nice texture on there. I don't know what those parts are. We have got some flare chaff dispensers, some more ammo boxes. We have two of these great big cannons. Okay, again, really nicely done with the recoil part on it. Okay, so overall, a really nice sprue. So we've got some more parts of the side skirts just here. So we've got two sides, the actual side of the side skirts, the top of the side skirts, that big armor plate that goes at the front of the lower hull, another plate, some more fenders on here, and again some more boxes and piping and little flaps and stuff like that. So some of these parts will be for the rockets, okay, which I think some of these parts in here are for. So another hatch ring, and then these parts are for those rockets, I believe, on the side. Then we've got another part for those two other bits on the side, which are probably the aiming system for these rockets. I don't know. The front and the rear of the rockets. Okay. And again, it's all nicely done. Nice race louvers, nice nuts where they need to be, panel lines where they need to be, and so on and so forth. We then move on to the tracks. So we've got one set of the tracks there, and then we've got the track pins just here. Okay, so we have individual pins. We have this part here that will help make the actual tracks, but at least it's just putting the pins in and it's not actually doing all the guide teeth or anything like that. But there are 3 cleanup parts on there. Okay, so that might be a little bit of a bugger. We've then got this 3D printed part, okay, which I'm noticing a lot with a lot of right field model kits, and again, that is absolutely sublime. It's got the lovely texture on there. It's got the lovely some lovely wiring, some lovely nuts and plates on there. Absolutely stunning. We've then got some poly caps and rubbery type parts. I'm not going to take them out. Where we've got what looks like that'll be a tarpaulin or something, ready to get it all cammed up and stuff like that. We have the clear parts, not many clear parts as you can see, mainly for the optics. And then we have the photo etch with the grills on there, the decals, and some towing rope and some wire. And that is that. So, a really nice kit. Lots of parts, lots of detail. It should build up to make a really nice T-55. The only thing I can see envisioning being a problem is those tracks, really, but that's just me. I'm not used to doing tracks. But other than that, a really nice release by Right Field Models. Anyway, that's it for now, guys. Hopefully see you in the next one. Bye.